Hey guys, Travis here, Perth Diesel Performance. This week's video upload, how to level up your game with a coffee machine in the back of your Landcruiser. This is the best setup I've seen yet, so let's check it out. I went down south, I was just on a weekend away with the family and I wanted a coffee and I come across the best 79 series coffee I've ever had in my life. I met some great people and I want to run you through this thing. The coffee machine setup is the best, so let's have a look right now.
Hey,
Hello.
Travis. How are you?
Miranda, how are you?
Trav, I'm good.
All right, how it come about, like I said, I was traveling down south, wanted a coffee, looked around, saw this 79, how good. This is the coffee machine. This is the biggest coffee machine I've ever seen in the back of a 79 series. It definitely trumps my Nespresso machine. So the coffee is great. And there's a bit of a story behind the journey and where you've been and how it come about.
All right, we are Colorado Coffee. We have been traveling the country for 16 months. We are so excited we made it to Western Australia. Our mission is to bring really good coffee to the adventure, to the 4x4, to the surf competitions, mountain bike competitions. So we decided to build this rig, and here we are after 6 months on the road.
16.
Ah,
Not
16. 16.
Been that good you've forgotten how long you've been on the road.
Time flies.
Yeah, no, it's been great, great journey, and so happy to bring good flavor to all community around Australia.
Yeah, I'll definitely second good coffee. Couple of things, obviously it's got a really big lithium setup in it, inverters to run the coffee machines, and it isn't for show, it's not an Instagram truck. I'm blown away. When I got chatting to these guys, the bit that blew me away, they're traveling on the road with this whole setup. This is their accommodation and everything. So they've got the bikes on the back, all their gear inside, rooftop tent. They're living the dream and getting paid and serving coffee in the best views everywhere in Australia. I've even been privileged today, looked at the map and where they've been, and I'm jealous. We will run through that later.
We've been a few places.
Yeah, I'm really blown away with how good this setup is and
Thank
inspired by how well this is, and it's just not full of gear, because I know when you go away and you go off-road, that it actually is stuff everywhere, and I'm like, where's the rest of it? Even today, even the cab's clean and tidy, so you guys run a
But that was a
clean ship.
deliberate decision. Like even when we were building the car, our policy was like least possible, but the best.
Yeah.
And that is something we've stuck to. Less is more.
Very simple.
Minimalistic.
Yeah, very simple living.
And
but
just
just
great
the best
coffee.
quality.
And
So-
just great coffee. Like people ask us if we do other things. You know, the classic Aussie is like, "Where's my bacon and egg roll?" Like, mate, we live in this. Like,
No.
we're just doing one thing and we're doing it well.
Yeah.
Okay, as you know, it's the 79 series, but my question, why the 79 series?
I grew up in Colombia. My background, like my granddad and my dad, they were car builders in Colombia. Big trucks, diesel cars. So always loving the cars. And basically these cars, they used to take the coffee from the farms to the downtown. So they were very strong cars. When I came to Australia, when we started this project, we were looking for different cars. Like we looked for a Hilux first, and we looked after, Hilux was our first option.
More affordable option.
More affordable. But we realized that we needed a car that we could do the modifications that we needed to be able to fit this equipment here, because we did a few things to this car. So the chassis is extended 300 mil, it's lifted 3-inch. So the only car that we could do all that modification was the 79 series. And I chose the gray color because it was my granddad's car, the same color.
Oh, nice.
So it's part of the dream. It's part of the dream. So it's like
It was also a discussion of, if we're gonna do this, like, we got to do it all.
Wow.
Yeah, there's ones
I
very
think you
well.
definitely picked the car for, you know, the conditions and obviously having all the lockers, and it's rugged and it's ready and it'll go anywhere, as you've proven
But
with it.
it's been fun to see different 79 series around the country, because we know we say every 79 series was born for a different job. So we have seen the 79 series at Cooper Pedy with the mining vacuum at the back. I was like, wow, this is very impressive. Or we saw a 79 series like a school bus in Kakadu National Park. It's like, wow, this is fun. So our mission, our 79 series is for coffee.
And like most 70 series owners, I think you'd probably agree, buying the car initially you thought was expensive, but now reflecting on it, it's probably the cheapest part, because modifying one of these guys.
I thought that was a joke, because I wasn't...
no one believes you until they've done it, but hey, some people have done it 3 times, they're still in love with them, so...
But when you're out there, when you're at the bush, you realize it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
Because when you see other campers like breaking things or a lot of damage in other cars, and you see, I'm fine at the moment. It's like, at the end it's not that expensive.
Yeah, it can change very quickly.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned there, in the middle of nowhere, if you need parts for one of these, you can pull into any town and Landcruiser parts, they're everywhere. So that was going to be one of my questions. Why don't you have an i30 or like a Ford Ranger or something like that? I mean, they normally serve coffee.
We looked at the 76 too, but we didn't have a room to fit the canopy and to make it this clean. So we went up with the 79.
And
like I say,
I'm Australian, so I was like, if we're traveling the country, I want a Toyota. Like that was 100% for me from the start, and then the rest was.
Well, you've definitely picked the right badge in my opinion. And 79 series
and this
is one of my favourites. Look, around town, like parking, and they're not the most comfortable, but like you say, when you're off-road in the middle of nowhere, it's just reliable, it's tough, it's going to get you anywhere.
Ours doesn't see town.
No, we don't go to the shops.
You're lucky, you're living the dream.
We don't go to the shops.
Yeah.
Shops are my least favourite place on earth.
That's why you got the push parks. You can park out of town and ride in and back out. So.
No joke, we do. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the map of where these guys have been travelling as well, and let's just say I'm slightly jealous because this thing's done more travel than I have. If we run through there, you guys, where did the journey start?
All right, this dream started back a couple of years in Colombia. So we flew to the coffee plantations for holidays and visit family there. When we were in Colombia, we pre-ordered the canopy without having the car. I said to Miranda, hey, how are you gonna do that? You're gonna get a saddle without a horse. And she was like,
I was like,
be faithful, like it's gonna happen.
We'll find one.
So we pre-ordered the canopy, being in Colombia, and we came back January 2023 to Australia, and we started working on the build. The build took 6 months, which is very quick for a 4x4 build to be complete. After the build was complete by Espresso 79, in July, first week of July 2023, we started traveling. We got married, and then
we got married. That was important.
Yeah.
We actually, the first coffees we made were for our wedding guests.
Yeah.
The day,
nice.
the morning after.
And
which was
then
really nice.
we said goodbye to everyone, and we hit the road up, heading to Cairns. This was built by Espresso 79 on the Gold Coast, so it's a very, very reliable equipment. This machine is wrapped inside, and the performance has been improved to be able to brew in a 4x4. So it's not a conventional coffee machine from a coffee shop. It is some improvements in this equipment. Everything is very bolt in there.
Yeah, that's one thing people often ask us is if we take it out when we go four-wheel driving. And we're like, mate, that's not coming out. Like, that is bullshit.
That's something that blew me away when I first saw you. I was just like, oh, this looks cool. And when you told me, legitimately, this is how it travels, I was like, that's impressive.
No, this was built with the intention to bring coffee. So this canopy is only used to have coffee-related items. So we don't put any load here, or we don't put any other stuff. It's only coffee here.
I know one thing I heard you say, the camp lights, I know you said that down there. I've got some good lights, I reckon I should, I could do a good deal on those ones. There might be a product plug there, but and obviously going to have the red lights so you don't get the bugs with the coffee as well. But look, to say that these guys are staying in it and obviously traveling and living the dream that most of us ultimately want to do, but also it's been a dream of yours. I remember when I talking to you down when I got the coffee down south, you were saying you wanted to have a cafe and then you wanted to travel, and you've put the two together. And
I arrived in Australia 10 years ago, and arriving in this country, I just realized how important is coffee for Aussies. Like, Aussies love coffee. Like, honestly, coffee is the first thing in the morning for Australians. So I say, I come from the coffee region. I can bring coffee from where I come from and share it with Australians. So always dreaming about opening a coffee shop, But when we met Espresso 79, like we thought like, this could be us. This is our dream because we love adventure too. We love 4x4, we love mountain biking, we love rock climbing. So if we can make and put everything together, that would be a dream. So this is the result of that work behind.
I can definitely say I reckon there'll be a lot of people watching that are completely jealous, because I mean most of us will spend a lot of money on the car, like you guys have. You probably spent more than the average getting this set up, but then you've obviously got the accommodation, the fuel, but you're actually holidaying. You're not usually bringing a source of income, so you've just blended that. I think it's probably the best example I've seen to be able to do that.
Like, honestly, we saw the opportunity because in adventure sports, all people who like adventure sports, they like coffee too, but when you go to those events, there are not plenty of options. So if you go to the city, you will see good coffee shops, but when you go to the bush, there is nothing. So that's our opportunity. We are here to bring good coffee to the adventure communities in Australia. So that includes everyone, like 4x4, caravans, mountain biking, runners, surfers. So that's our intention, to fill that gap.
Yeah, and it brings so much joy. Particularly in remote areas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
When we pull up, and people don't know that, like, we've actually just got the branding done recently. So previously there was no branding on the car until like a month ago. And so we'd pull in, people would just think we're campers, and Paulo would put up the flag to signal we were making coffees the next day, and people go nuts. Like on the, we've done a few sneaky, I guess, brews in very remote places, and I'll be swimming and the flag will go up and everyone's like, did that guy just put up a flag that says coffee?
1,500 k's from the closest,
Yeah, and like we're not in those places to make a lot of money, but goodness, we bring a lot of joy.
Bring joy to the
that's something, we were talking just before we were filming this, is about meeting people. It's just that talking point of, you get to introduce different people. They go, oh, have you been here? Have you been there? And you start looking at these places that someone's already done the groundwork for you and said, hey, it's not on the map. It's a special little spot. Go check it out. And obviously, it opens those doors up for having a chat with someone that you wouldn't normally. It's a different approach to it.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
100%.
Oh, we've had great experiences because we've shared a coffee with someone. Like, we'll serve at a boat ramp and they'll say, oh, what do you do in the Arvo?
Oh, so you get fish, crayfish
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
I see what okay.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, literally, one place we served coffees, second day, the local electrician comes up with a plastic bag in his hand and he's like, my wife said that your coffee's really good and to make you stay, I got to give you a crate.
Yeah, nice.
And we're like...
So has anyone cooked your dinner yet, like for the good coffee, or is it?
Oh,
we share flavor. Like, it's one of our family values. Like, we always love good food and good coffee, so we share with a lot of people same interest, and we love cooking as well.
So I'm presuming you probably don't get a sleep in if you've pulled up somewhere and you've served someone a good coffee one day, because they're expecting to be up early and get the coffee in the morning. So
we
get
don't
up
really
early?
sleep in
anyway. Every day we are 5 a.m. ready, doing something, doing some workout. And I say to Miranda, like, every show, if there is a market, if the market is at 9, and say coffee needs to be there first than anyone else, so we are there at 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
Because you want to be there making coffees for the other people who are working the show
100%.
or they're there for the event, like they're organising it so they get their moment before.
So there's, we were chatting earlier, obviously these guys were lucky enough to go at the full drive show in Perth, so if you did see them down there, we were chatting about the coffees, and I was running some numbers, and it was very impressive. What did we work out? It was just over a coffee a minute for 9 hours, roughly. What did you start at 7 in the morning? And we were just saying,
probably 6:30 through till 12 was when I got to go to the bathroom. I think
that's actually one of those things, isn't it? There's no breaks there. It's just full on.
No toilet.
So I mean, you work out those hours over 3 days straight. You had to visit the chiro because you were
my shoulder is gone.
Gym workout, making coffee. So that's probably just a testament to say how good the coffee is.
It's really good. It's really good to see how people are enjoying our coffee and to see the four-wheel drivers like loving the car and loving the coffee. That's a dream. So thanks for the support to the people in Perth. Like, we really enjoyed the show. So that was great for us.
Yeah, I think like you mentioned as well, when you have good coffee, you're just going to keep going back. So you get someone on the first day, boom, they're there the second day, like, I'll have that again. So
word spreads fast.
Yes, 100%. All right, so we've seen the map. Where to next, guys? I can see there's a bit of a gap down here. What's your travel plans?
We want to spend summer in the southwest corner. We feel home in the southwest corner. So
Yeah.
if we can stay here until maybe end of January, it would be amazing.
Yeah, good riding, good surf, great rock climbing.
The views, the beaches, everything
Oh,
down
it's
there is amazing.
amazing.
I've been obviously along the Esperance, Bilbunya sand dunes, all through there, Baxter Cliffs and all that. That's probably one of the most interesting places I've had a coffee. Where's the spot you've brewed with the best view?
Ginted Lookout.
Ginty's Lookout, that was the Western McDonnell Ranges.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's a free camp. You have a view over the Kings Canyon.
Wow.
Yeah, and the thing is, we were driving through the desert for maybe 4 weeks, and I haven't made coffees during that time. So when we got there, I was itching to make coffees. And the campers, they came like, do you make coffee? You're gonna make coffees tomorrow? And I say, yes.
It was also our wedding anniversary, so we were like,
So
yeah, we'll
it
try
was
it in
very
the machine.
special. And then we
Nice.
brewed for the families around, and the kids went and tell all the campers. So everyone came for coffee,
Oh, wow.
and that was very special.
They came back with desert flowers to
Yeah,
thank
cool.
us.
It's like yeah. At the end, it's like we don't do it for money. We do it for the reward of
Yeah, like you
those
say, the
moments.
experiences.
Yeah.
And like I say, most people plan to travel, and it's usually somewhere in their life, or they don't get to do it. They want to do it, they just never find the freedom. So yeah, like I've mentioned many times, it's cool to see the
No, get out
story, and
there.
then where you have been. Some people, I mean, don't really get that chance and opportunity, and you guys are living it, and you can go and get heaps of different experiences.
I mean, people say, and it's not to downgrade it, but people will say, oh, I wish I could. And
The choice is theirs. They
the
can.
choice is theirs. It's like they've deliberately chosen other things in life, and we've deliberately not chosen certain things
Yes.
so that we can live this, right? So I would say, like, you can just actually look at your choices.
We were talking
Be
earlier,
deliberate.
actually, and there was something that's still on my mind. You mentioned you did the trip from here and you started, and it was a shakedown, and you're working out what you needed and you didn't need. But these guys are so minimalistic. I mean, it's the fridge over here loaded with milk, the coffee machine, the grinder, the coffee, and as you can see up there, the coffee cups. I don't know how much less you can have in the car, so
Just
I'm like,
the women on the road, just to show you what's possible. That is my entire wardrobe. That. So you can do it.
That's
You
big.
don't
Look.
need much. You don't need much.
that's amazing. That is amazing. That's traveling light.
Yeah, you got it.
The other one I mentioned about coffee, and when you say not the most random place to have a coffee, my one is to actually have a coffee and pull over, and that one goes out to you, Ronnie, because getting to camp in the dark, and it's usually Ronnie pulling over and having a coffee in the middle of the track or somewhere, just so we can push on those extra hours and possibly make it a 14-hour day.
How does he brew it? How does Ronnie brew his coffee?
Any which
Fire
way,
at
so
the
we
fire.
can
You
on the
put the kettle
fire,
at the
or
fire.
yeah, so it's just
Okay.
whatever's quick and easy. Obviously, we've been out with Sean as well. One of the trips, we had the pod machine, a little Nespresso one with inverter, and then obviously seeing this setup, it's I'm a bit jealous of that.
And we
It's,
can fix that next time.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, just invite us along with it. We'll make
so,
you a
yeah.
coffee.
yeah, like you say, those coffee stops are normally just to refuel and keep going because it takes too long to have lunch or a meal. So that one goes out to you, Ronnie. Camp in the dark, and I could relate as well, like you were saying. Didn't have a bull bar, driving, the conditions aren't great, and you pull up into some random spot, and then you wake up and it's daylight, and you're like, we camped here, but you can't see where you pulled up at night because it's only what the headlights see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does give you a different perspective as well, though, when you pull up in the dark. On the flip coin, it could be somewhere really amazing with an amazing view, and you can't see it at night.
Yeah,
So
that's
true.
happened too.
Yeah, that's
I've-
true.
yeah, I've had that as well. It's not as common, but but definitely in the morning after nights like that, a good
And there's
coffee.
nothing like if you wake up with a brilliant view that you didn't expect having a brew with a view.
All right, Colorado Coffee 79 rig rundown. Let's do it. Obviously, it's a dual cab 79 trig point canopy on the back. I've noticed at the front we've obviously got 35-inch tyres, full Superior front end in here as well. King shocks. Not running a bull bar. We mentioned earlier about
We're missing the bull bar.
It's,
But then
keep it
it's
light.
next project.
And no winch, so haven't got stuck yet. Got the steady light bar up there, Rhino rack, Bush Company awning.
And rooftop tent, Bush Company too.
Yes, which obviously is their accommodation. You mentioned we've got the chassis extended down here as well.
Down here, 300 mil extension.
Yes,
So that
J-Max
gave us,
diff in there
that
as
gave
well.
us the room to work here as well. Otherwise, it was cutting here and then not enough room.
Yes, obviously got the bike loader on the back. This thing is decked out. not just to serve coffee, but to travel and hit the tracks and go wherever they want.
One of the biggest mods we have in this car is the electric system. So we got Victron energy here. We have 2 lithium batteries of 400 amps each.
So it's 800 amps of
We
lithium,
run
just 800.
800 with a 6,000 Scotty inverter.
No shortage of power or coffee, may I say, hey?
No, we need to make sure we bring coffee to people. So that's why we built this, with the intention to be able to brew anywhere in Australia. Yeah, that's it. And we have 70 liters water tank here. That's one of the biggest mods I can say for this.
Ultimately, looking at this as well, you haven't gone overboard with it. It's lean, clean, and it's got a purpose. I think you've done it really well. Is there anything you'd do to it that you haven't done to it? I know we talked about maybe a tinny just for other travels, but it's not really a car mod.
Depending where we're traveling, like we adjust the setup for what we're doing. I'm very happy with this setup, and I've been telling to Miranda like how grateful I am when we go to a place, I don't know, caravan park or campsite, that we can fit everywhere, or even when we have to take a ferry to go to an island. Like this car, we can find a spot very easy because we're not towing anything. So it's very...
Yeah, it definitely adds another complexity to towing something. You got to drop it off, pick it up, unhitch. You can't really get to those super remote places without those, you know, the extra threat of, you know, more work or getting bogged. So yeah, having the car on its own, I can definitely say, just gives that confidence. And
sometimes people say, "Oh, we are booked out," and say, "Oh, but look, this is our car," and say, "Oh yeah, I can fit you in the corner." Yes. Beautiful. We take
or you can do those sneaky camps. Well, this is what camp looks like tonight, and hopefully pull it off. So yeah, obviously that, you know, living the dream and a bit of free camping, that's the best. Getting that peace and quiet.
Yeah.
So
no, it's nice. No, it's. I just can say, get out there, and this country is amazing. Beautiful place to explore. People too friendly, very nice. It's been nice to see the country, to see how different it is, and very grateful for this experience. For my wife, that she say yes to this, because I get people, they tell me all the time, like, I don't know how is she doing it.
Actually, I've got a question. Did you ask for permission or forgiveness? That's the one that normally comes into mind, isn't it?
No, she is on board with everything. So I'm very, very glad that we share a lot of values, and we love adventure, and we love what we do. We're very passionate about what we do. So yeah, hopefully.
I can definitely say, yeah, meeting you guys down south, these guys making coffee, they're just very passionate about what they do. Yeah, so that's what flagged me to say, hey guys, come up. I want to
like when
bit of an interview and see what you guys have been up to, where you've been traveling.
People come to us, it's like, this is a great little business, and I'm saying, this is not that little as you think. This is something big. You know, like we put in a lot of love in this project.
Actually, question, how many Ks have you traveled now?
38,000.
38,000 in 16 months. At an estimate, how many coffees?
Oh, good question.
It's in the thousands, easy.
Well,
and in these tricky remote places as well. I mean, that's just...
kilos of coffee.
All right, guys, some fun facts. Colorado
300.
coffee. These guys are having a chat. I asked the question, how many coffees, how many Ks? They're going cups, kilos of beans, all these different things. Most people go, oh, we use this much fuel, we've done this many Ks, and we had this many problems with our car. And there's, you know, like there's so many different aspects
different
of
numbers here.
Doing what they do. You know, they need beans, they need cups, you need
water,
like I mentioned.
And milk, so many.
Oh yeah, actually we forgot milk.
Honestly, that's the biggest challenge. If you ask me, milk and cups to fit them in the car.
Most guys would say the milk is going to be long life because they want more cold beers. But obviously when you're serving coffee, you need fresh milk.
No, we think about this car like 50-50. So 50% is storage for coffee and work related, and 50% is our lifestyle.
Yeah, like even our fridge is always 50% dedicated to the operation of this business, and then when we're doing events, it's 100%.
Some different things to think about. Normally I'm looking at, okay, how many hours I'm going to drive, how much fuel have I got? Yeah, I've got food to get there and enough water. Yeah. But yeah, like you say, have we got enough supplies to serve coffee at the other end, because you're going to make some good friends. So, okay, so I had a question as well. Obviously, milk. You roll into some, you know, remote places and you go, excuse me, have you got any milk? Yeah, thanks. I'm going to take all 10 bottles. Have you had that challenge yet?
Surprisingly, that hasn't happened.
No.
Usually, small towns are actually quite grateful for the business.
Yeah, great.
Like they're usually, and we actually have a bit of a rule where we always try and support local business. So if we can even find a dairy farmer, or like in
nice.
Sunshine Coast, we work with Mulaney Dairy. We use Mulaney Dairy, and we know that's our local there.
I suppose you can always smooth it over with a good coffee anyway, so you know you got them with that one.
It's a good advertisement.
No, even other coffee shops, they've been honestly so grateful because they've been very open to help us on the road. So when they know we introduce ourselves and say, this is what we're doing, we're bringing coffee around the country, and the coffee
Pretty
shops,
unique, really. I mean,
they
it's gonna be
say,
like
take whatever you need. You need beans, you need cups, what do you need? You need, just take it. So it's been very nice, very
and then
generous.
what we were saying as well, we're talking about kilos and coffee beans, and you mentioned before, you know, someone had passed on the coffee beans to the local cafe because they thought, who's traveling? Yeah, what do we say? 30 kilos of coffee
30 kilos
beans.
of coffee.
I mean, it sounds funny. Say going through any border checks where they're like, hang on, bags of coffee, where they're looking at you like a bit random, and then they saw the signage on the car, and it's like, hang on.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's
No, we have been really fortunate to have some really great support because we're obviously moving all the time.
Yeah.
And when we first started working with our roasters semi-pro, we were like the worst possible client. We had no idea what our volumes were going to be. We had no idea where we were going to be.
Yeah.
And
not the same place to send it to as well. Always traveling.
And they say to us, doesn't matter where you are, we're gonna cover half of the cost for the delivery. And we were like, okay, thanks very much. So it's been a lot of people behind us. It's not just this project,
like
a lot
you
of
said,
people support.
Sounds like a great community.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's a bit of a wrap on the Colorado Coffee 79 series. I just want to say a massive thank you to you both. Thank you for coming past. It was a pleasure in meeting you down south. Great coffee. If you see these guys out on the tracks, hit them up for a coffee, go and say hello. If you want to follow them on socials, hit the link down here. You can probably see where they're at. I'm presuming you're going to keep that updated on your amazing travels. Until next time, guys, see you on the tracks and hopefully you get to experience the coffee from these guys.
Muchas gracias.
Cheers.
Gracias.
Ciao.